Hi, gang. Welcome to Behind the Rhinestones. This is your host, Dinah Dare, and here I interview some of the stars of the burlesque and cabaret world. If you are enjoying everything that I bring to you, please do like and subscribe. And if you're over on YouTube, pop a comment as well because we love to see it. Today, I am getting to interview a fabulous performer, and please welcome to the pod, Donna Divine. So thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's great to have you, honestly. We were just saying, obviously, before we started recording that we follow each other on Instagram, so it's like, oh, we know each other, but we don't.
No.
But that's fine because we'll get to know you, so it's fine.
Absolutely.
And it's a lovely sunny day down your way as well, which is nice.
Yes, I'm down in Eastbourne, which is apparently the Sunshine Coast, so it should be sunny.
Yeah, it should be. I'm always so amazed that when I look outside and there's a blue sky up here, I'm like, oh, it must be summer. That one
Oh.
week that we have.
But you know what? I love Glasgow.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
brilliant city. I love it. So,
it's good fun.
yeah, exactly. So you kind of have to forgive the weather, really.
Yeah, I get over it quite quickly, so it's fine. So as I said, I've been following you for a while. I think you've been saying, but I don't really know like how you got into burlesque. So like, what is your origin story?
So I would say like burlesque found me.
Nice.
As some girls will say like, oh, I have like a musical theatre background, or I love Dieter Von Teese and who else? Like just some of the icons. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't in that much, and so I was
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, well, I know that I like to dance because I do have a dance background,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I was dancing for a long time whilst growing up, and then I got to university, and the I think I joined a dance society,
Hmm.
and it was okay. Like we were learning new routines, but they weren't going anywhere. Like there wasn't a performance at the end, and that was something I
Okay.
was used to whilst dancing back at school. And so I quit because I was like, well, it felt pointless without a performance at the end. So I then moved to London, found, after studying, found an internship and was just like, okay, well, I don't dance anymore. I have to like, knuckle down and do my muggle, live
Yeah.
my vanilla life. And at my first internship, I made a good friend and she introduced me to her housemate. And maybe a few months go by, and then the housemate tells me that they found a burlesque course and they're too scared to go on their own.
Okay.
And knew that I'd done dance beforehand. And I was
Hmm.
like, huh, burlesque. Oh, I don't really know what that is. I think the film had been out.
Yep.
Um, and now that I do burlesque, I know that that's not burlesque.
Yep.
But I saw that as someone that had like, done jazz and ballet and tap and modern. And so I was like, oh, that's what I'm used to doing back, back in the day. So I was like, okay, it's going to be like that. Fun, let's
Yeah.
go. It was actually Little Lady Luscious's course that
Nice.
she used to run. And we had a taster class, and we're both like hooked.
Yeah.
Went for the full course. And I remember so vividly it like realizing it wasn't the film Burlesque and the elements of stripping that were involved, and thinking like, oh my goodness, like, can I do this? Like, this
Yeah.
is quite out there. And, I come from somewhat of a conservative family.
Okay.
So I was just unsure as to whether I should continue. But then we
Hmm.
had a nipple tassel class with Trixie tassels. Uh, and it was incredible. I was like, okay, yeah, I can do this. And like she was so amazing, so confident. And I think it was during that course that I was on that I went to see her perform. And she was just breathtaking. Like it was incredible to see a woman like so powerful. And yeah, so I was able to get skills from like the Trixie Tassels. So and may she rest in power. Um, but yeah, after that, graduated. And then Little Lady Luscious invited me back to the cabaret shows that She produced over at the Albany, over at the Albany. Um, And yeah, I just kept on doing shows with her, and then I auditioned for the Follies. Yeah, people forget about this. Like this is my whole
Yeah, I'm
story.
like, how did that happen?
Yeah, so I was with the Follies for a while. Um, and this all happened like I forgot to tell you like when this all happened. I was how old was I? I was like 20, 25, 26
Okay.
when I discovered burlesque. And yeah, so through the Follies, I was dancing in like residencies around London, and um, it was an incredible experience, and yeah, I just continued after that.
Imagine that's such a fun story that you've just kind of went along with a friend and then you were like, oh yeah, this is for me. I feel like that happens with a lot of us. We kind of stumble into one of these classes and we're like, oh, this is where I'm meant to
This
be.
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Did you?
mm,
I was just gonna say, did the friend that you go with, did they perform or did
no,
they
they
not?
stopped after our debut. They stopped,
Oh.
yeah. But I think it was the I missed performing. Like it felt nice to dance, and yes, I could do go to dance classes, and I had that experience at university of the dance society. But it was the element of like performance, of like building up to something and then sharing that
Mm-hmm.
live. So it 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 reawakened a part of me that really was missing. Mm.
That part that you had kind of like lost along the way. That's quite cool. So
Yeah.
you talked a lot there about like you've got that background of dance, kind of grown
Mm.
up. Have that has that sort of shaped how you approach your performances? Do you think your performances are more dance or yeah,
Mm.
like how has that sort of informed who you've become as a burlesque performer?
So I think it's so I did ballet, modern, tap, and jazz from like the age of 7 to the age of like around 18, 17, 18.
Yeah, that's a fair amount of time to be
It's a
doing
long time,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say like it has really kind of informed what I'm now known for, or at least like that's something that like what I do is uh, it's I'm often like people often comment on my musicality and choreography
Mhm.
skills, and
Yeah.
I think those are definitely coming from the background that I had in dance.
Hmm.
And I think that sh it mainly shows up in the behind the scenes of just how to structure a routine, and also how to interpret music visually or like with my body, like how to emote that. Because you know, we were dancing to classical music and music with no lyrics. And so you had to find a way to express that. And especially when it came to performances, would always do like a big summer performance at the end of the year. And I remember um, during rehearsals or classes, I wouldn't really smile. I'll just be like, well, I'm just learning here. And my
Yeah.
teacher would always be like, smile, smile. And it's like, well, I'll smile when at the performance. I'm saving it. But there was always an emphasis of like, okay, express
Yeah.
yourself in some way. And so I think that is yeah, that's really informed how I move on stage and what I bring to my routines. Mm.
Especially, I think having face is a thing that we talk about a lot when you're like a newer burlesque performer, as you're so concerned with what your body's doing that you forget what your face is doing. But if
Yeah.
you've had that ingrained in you from like a young age, that will have definitely have helped as well.
I definitely, but but I remember like for my debut routine, it was filmed and I look back on it and I look like a deer in headlights. Like I look terrified. And it's the element of removing clothes. Like I can give you a nice little dance and I can smile.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at that point I was like, okay, I'm taking this bra off now. Is it snagging on, my hair or anything like that?
Hmm. Deer in Headlights is, I feel like if everyone had to go back and look at their first performance, that would be every single one of us would just be like the whole time.
I think that needs to be a night. Like we all get together and big screen, we all watch our
Oh
first.
my God, I would love that. I think that would be so much fun.
It's so much fun.
But at the same time, we'd all be like, don't look. This is where I came from. Don't look at it.
We have to know where you came from.
Yeah. So what was your first act then?
It's actually an act I still do. It's my Crazy in Love act. Really slow and sultry and I'm still like happy with the routine itself. Like at times I'm like, oh, I'm a bit tired of it. Like it's been quite a while, me and this routine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it's a good practice in like slowing down.
Yep.
And in those moments of being able to connect with the audience and do it in such a way that you are commanding the space
Mm-hmm.
and they're being invited to watch you. So I do feel powerful when I perform that particular routine.
No
Mm.
wonder. Also doing like a slow burn for your first one. Well done. Jesus.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, when you said that was your first one, I was like, Jesus Christ, kiddo, like, well done.
I know. I think it was for me it's always like the music that informs the routine.
Yep.
And I'd heard the song. It's the remix version. I was like, oh my God, like this, what is sexier than this? And also
Yeah.
at that point, you're like, I think a lot of people, when they first get into burlesque, like it's okay, you go down the sexy route. And then you can, you veer off and do other things. And so that
Hmm.
was my initial, like, okay, sexy route, this is a sexy song. And I really connected to it. And it still fits my persona, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which takes us really nicely onto my next question, actually. So, your persona, how much does it differ from like day job you, or does it amplify aspects of you?
Ooh. Well, oh wait, sorry, was it the persona or the name that you asked me about the question?
A bit of both, to be fair. So your persona, but I suppose that does have some sort of connection to your name as well.
Hmm. Um, yeah, I came to my discovered my name or put my name together whilst at my regular job. And
Nice.
my colleagues helped me come up with it actually.
Oh, cute.
Because I was going through the motions. I was like, oh, maybe like something noir, something petite, or I don't know. You just have
Yeah.
those general names you want to kind of have a go and see how they'd fit for you. And Donna's actually my middle name.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I think someone pointed out like alliteration is always strong. Like people remember alliterations, just like you have with
Yeah,
your name.
yeah.
And and the fact that Donna, marries itself to that actually means woman. Um, and then divine, like divine femininity and divinity, came with it. And then someone was like, "What about just divine, like Donna Divine?" I was like, "That sounds good."
Yeah. It's a good name. It is.
Thank
I think it
you.
hits like it's the right number of it's nice, it's snappy as
Mm,
well, which I quite like about it. And
yeah.
obviously I like the fact that it's alliteration also, because yeah.
And I think when it comes to my persona, I feel like Donna Divine is who I really am.
Oh.
And it's like the stage is a way for me to fully express myself.
Mm.
Because I think as women, especially as a Black woman, like the world will always try to humble you in a myriad of ways. And,
Yep.
with the Muggle jobs I was doing, so I'm a graphic designer as well.
Oh, nice.
And I just like, I was always creative and I always loved dancing, but
Hmm.
it was very much implied that dancing isn't a career whilst I was growing up. And my dad would always say, like, are you going to dance until you're 60?
And you'll be like, yes, I am.
Well, and now I'm like, actually, yes, I will be. And I'll be able
Mhm.
to dance at 60 because I've been dancing this whole time.
Yep. Hmm.
And so so it got to the point where I was like, okay, so I know I want to do something creative. I can't do dance. I also loved painting. I was like, well, I can't be a penniless painter either. So I was like, let's go down the graphic design route. That's corporate yet still creative.
Yep.
And I've never connected to it. Like it was always
Mhm.
something to force. And then being in office spaces always felt stifling. And, you know, I just remember having at that internship actually where I met that friend. Um, I remember it was like 2 weeks in, I was getting the tube and I was just looking around and I was like, oh God, everyone looks miserable.
Yeah.
Is this what I'm supposed to do for the next 40 years? Like just go into the office and do this boring job, pretend to work often,
Yeah.
um, and then go. And I was like, oh gosh. In that moment, I knew it wasn't good that I was having that thought
Yeah.
so early on. And so I never felt connected to outside outside work and like I guess to a degree the real world, if you want to say.
Yeah.
And so with Donna Divine and like being on stage, I could fully express myself and show off my attitude and my power. And it felt like there's a moment of being really seen and respected.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally get that. And I can also see how, yeah, corporate jobs are soul sucking.
Mm.
Even if it's still got a creative aspect to it, it's
Yeah,
really hard. Yeah.
I think it's more draining when with the
Yes.
yeah, because I love to like as I said I love to do all sorts of like creative work, so like painting and stuff like that. I never did any of that when I was doing full-time graphic design. I didn't but I was too exhausted. I was like, well, because you have to force creativity
Mm-hmm.
kind of
A
jobs.
hundred. Are you a full-time performer now?
I'm kind of straddling that.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm still doing some design work and just other bits to
Hmm.
supplement my income. And then performing, I'm making more of a concerted effort to try and make it doable for me to live.
Yeah, it's hard. Like,
Yeah.
so I always say to people that are full-time or trying to go full-time, like, massive respect because it's hard.
Mm,
Um, and you have to love it. So I think it shows your commitment to it if you're like, no, do you know what? I want to do this full-time.
exactly. But then I'm also worried of just feeling of falling out of love with it because
Mm. Because
it's
then it's a
now
job.
stress. Exactly. Yeah.
It's a really hard thing to manage.
Hmm.
But then I suppose you would get to be you. If that's the truest version of yourself, you would actually get to be you instead of having to pretend to be a corporate drone, I suppose.
True, true. But a part of like the other work I'm doing is actually dominatrix work.
Oh,
And
nice.
that's also another place where being you is like the goal is the goal.
Yeah.
Like to be you, then that's how you attract like submissives and other clients, etc. And so I think I'm just trying to find authentic work or work that's authentic to me. And so I
Yeah.
don't, yeah.
No, that makes sense. I was going to ask next about like your other sort of artistic as inspirations as well. It sounds like you've probably got a lot of different places that you pull them from. But what are some of your inspirations when it comes to your acts?
Ooh. Um, I think like a lot of it stems from I'm like a 90s noughties child. And
Mm-hmm.
so MTV and music videos
Yeah.
was a huge visual inspiration and like just a component to my the broadening of my mind whilst growing
Yeah.
up. And so I love just watching like all the dance breaks, all the costumes, the music. And for me, music is a really pivotal point of my burlesque practice because for me that really informs the the tone of the dance, the emotions, and then the costume. Like it for me, it all starts with the music
Mm.
and how connected I am to it.
Yep.
And so who inspires me? So there's that, and like kind of I love video vixens when I was growing up. I just thought they looked incredible.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, I hope I can look like that one day. Like, just, when you have your like scrawny, prepubescent body, like, oh,
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
see yourself. Yeah. Um, so there's that. And I did actually make a little list to remind me. Um, so yeah, so music is a huge inspiration. And I like musical performances
Mm.
by musicians. So like Janelle Monáe and Tina Turner. And of course, like Beyonce is a huge inspiration.
Yeah.
One that is like continuous because she's always evolving as an artist. And I think that's the best component with art. And I think that's what I love most about it is you can reflect on your personal journey through what you've created and you can see where you were during that time and how that influenced your creative process and outcomes. So yeah, and just like her being someone that always strives for excellence, I guess.
Yeah.
And in fact, who was it? Esme Pump. She another burlesque performer. We were talking about Beyonce, and she was like, she was like, your burlesque brand is Beyonce, and I was like, and my head has not gone back to normal since hearing that.
You're like, this is me now. This
hmm
is right.
If that's what you're saying, like I love Esme Pump. Like she has incredible taste, so she's true. She's just telling the truth, clearly.
Yeah, it's just fact. Just fact.
Um, But in terms of burlesque, I'd say like the American girls are really inspiring me at the moment. So
Hmm.
uh, Eileen, Stunning,
Hmm.
um, Emma Jewel, and of course Jezebel Thunder, Miss Exotic.
Of course.
Incredible. I think um, they have a way of moving that is like just in, like so sensual and like empowering and just mesmerizing. I
Yeah.
think like just to watch them move is just so mesmerizing, and it's I love to see more Black women in these spaces, and for me like Black beauty is my standard, and so to see them, I'm always in awe.
Yeah.
Mm.
I definitely feel like the Americans know how to do like sensuality and sex.
Mm.
Oh, always. Whenever I'm watching them, I'm like, it's so like just all like just the kind of general sort of American performers. That's kind of what I tend to feel like I get from them is like just pure sensuality. And like you said, like you can't take your eyes off of them.
Mm.
And I love that.
That's so true. I think because over here, I would say the scene is more storytelling.
Hmm.
And there's more humor, there's more political, um and I think that's just I think it's a very British thing. Like I just think we're always very much switched on and yeah,
I
not
also
so much
don't know
switched
if
on,
it's
but you know what I
I
mean.
wonder if it's an element of British people not really being able to take ourselves too seriously as well. Like, because think about you get a compliment, someone's like, "Oh my God, you look gorgeous." You're like, thanks." Like you do that scrunch nose thing where you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, you look even better." So I wonder if it's we feel more comfortable being funny on stage.
That's so I think yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Yes, because like Americans are so known for being so confident and out extroverted, and so yeah, they would be like, look at me when they go on stage. Why
Yeah,
wouldn't
whereas
you?
we're all like, no, don't look at me, look at the story I'm telling. This is so much.
Absolutely.
I loved actually what you were saying at the start, like you grew up as like an MTV baby, because I'm like 90s, 2000s is kind of when I grew up as
Mm.
well. And it made me realize that like I tend to visualize things when I'm listening to music. And I wonder if that's growing up with like watching MTV all the time and like watching all the music videos. Like I want like as you said that, I was like, oh, I wonder if that's why so many people I speak to that are like similar age range to me all sort
Mm.
of say the same thing about how we tend to visualize what we do.
That makes complete sense.
Right.
100%. Because even just saying how like in my case, like the music informs the routine I'm gonna put together.
Hmm.
I hear the music and then I see it.
Yeah, same.
And like so and you see your own music video too.
Yeah.
Did you ever see
Yeah.
that show? I think it was on MTV. Yeah, it must have been on MTV. But they would get regular people to come and recreate their faves best music, like their favorite
Yes,
music.
yes. The one
Oh
that
my
sticks out in my head
gosh.
was someone doing, I think someone did, was it Britney's Slave for You is the one that sticks out in my head.
Yes, I feel like that was like a big one.
Yeah.
That was a big one. Yes, oh my gosh, like I wanted to do that so badly.
Same.
So it makes sense I've come to burlesque. Making sure I have my own music video live.
Yeah, that's literally what we're all doing all the time. Oh yeah, it was just when you said that, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, so I'm loving to hear where like all your inspiration comes from. Obviously, you've taken that on stage with so many different acts and you've performed all over the place, which we'll come to. But is there any sort of moments that have been sort of unforgettable or moments where you've like fucked up and you're like, well, I have to keep going?
Oh, I was reflecting on this and trying to think of some, and
You've just trauma blocked them.
maybe, I do have one, like I have like two that stuck out. One
Hmm.
was it wasn't that much of a big deal, but it happened when happened very unexpectedly. You know,
Okay.
at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern,
Yes.
the changing room's upstairs, so you have to come downstairs to
Hmm.
the little behind the scene box, and and
Yeah.
then you can get on stage. And I came downstairs and I was about to go on, and I realized I didn't have my gloves on, I didn't have my jewelry on, and I was like, what happened? Was I literally just yapping the whole time in the changing room? And so I just had to, like, I had to improvise.
Yeah.
I didn't have any gloves. It literally just became a full just dance routine, or almost. Um, and then another moment of the show must go on.
Mm.
Um, was with the Cocoa Butter Club, and we put a production together, and we're showcasing it still. And it was this at this one event, the host was taken ill. And the host is really pivotal for the full performance because it's there,
Okay.
it's kind of taking us on the journey, and making every routine and piece kind of interlinks, and so the host just carries the show essentially.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, and so when they couldn't perform, we were literally sat in like backstage. I was like, do we cancel the show? We can't
Mm.
because everyone is arriving, and it'd been
Mm.
raining the whole day, so people just they were already going to be annoyed.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, someone we have some, like, I think one of the producers partners was there, and they're a DJ. So like, okay, we're gonna have a DJ, you're going to do some routines, you're going to do some routines, you're going to do a group number here and there. And it just became like a makeshift cabaret show with DJing in between. And the audience were such good sports. Like, they knew when to, just dance around, have a good time, enjoy the DJ set, and then to
Yeah.
sit down and witness a performance. Um, yeah, it was almost like we were about to I thought the show was going to be cancelled, so I was ready to like head back to the hotel, like,
Yeah.
and it turned out to be such a brilliant night. So
It's the kind of nights you love where you're like, what's gonna happen? And then it actually turns out to be fantastic.
yeah, I think it's because you're kind of forced to be in the moment, and like to
Yes.
really be creative, and like just the human element is always going
Hmm.
to be better. Like, I think like striving for perfection is always going to just cause more stress than it's worth, because
Yeah.
it simply doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But then when there are moments where it's kind of out of your control, and you're just meeting the moment where you are, like that's the most beautiful. It'll often be like the most beautiful experiences, like beautiful performances.
Yeah, like you're saying that, and I'm thinking one of my favorite shows was like an improv show to a live band I did last year. And it was honestly one like we'd picked our music, but I'd vaguely planned what I was going to do. And it was
Mm.
just so much fun because you had to be in the moment. There was none of this like a lot of time when you've performed so much, it's muscle memory. Yes, you're there. Yes, you're emoting, but you're still sort of aware of what you're doing. Like, I don't know, there's an element of you're not always fully there, I feel, but
Oh,
I
I
had
agree.
to be fully there, and it made it so much fun.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So
I've
I
only
can
been
imagine
to
it
the
was
live band
exactly the
once.
same. I can
Mm.
imagine it was the same for you with that one.
Yeah, um yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, you mentioned in the Cocoa Butter Club, so you won Trailblazer at the Take the Title competition, which is amazing. How did that experience sort of shape your career, and how did it impact like seeing yourself as a burlesque performer as well?
Oh. Um so that that experience, like it came off of the back of me kind of retreating from the industry.
Okay.
So once it got to once we hit the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
and we're just starting to come out, my anxiety was just through the roof. I don't know what happened. Like when I was dancing with the Follies, I was always nervous and I really suffered from imposter syndrome
Mm-hmm.
because all of the girls had been trained dancers, like going to dance school, like, university, all that kind of stuff. And, I felt like I had stopped at such an age that, I surely I can't keep up. That was my thinking at the time. And so when lockdown happened and we started to come out, I put, created a new routine, but I was terrified. I really was so nervous and anxious to perform again. Like, I think I canceled some shows actually because I was nervous, like too
Yeah.
nervous to go on. And then the Cocoa Butter Club advertised that they had this competition. And at that time, I think Lady Luscious had told me to email Cocoa Butter Club and, let them know just introduce myself. And
Yeah.
I did that so early on and I didn't hear back. And so I was like, oh gosh, maybe I'm terrible then. Like
Yeah,
they don't want to know about me.
yeah.
And so this came up and I was like, you know what? They should know about me. So, so I was like, okay,
Nice.
I'm gonna sign up. And and I think that competition gave me the confidence to continue and to see myself as capable and that I have a right to be there. I have a right to be on stage and present myself as a performer and because I enjoy it and I wanted to do it.
That's totally fair. Like, I think I've heard a lot of people talk about how they've maybe emailed places and they've never heard back, and they're like, oh, fuck. Obviously, you know that like people don't always have the time, but there is an element of, oh, maybe I'm not good enough
Yeah.
then. And it's so good that you got to be like, no, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to show you what I'm capable of. And then, yeah, you got that title. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
What's funny is like this also like solidified for me that what's meant for you won't pass you by.
Hmm.
Because the original heat I was supposed to be in, I had to pull out because I was really ill. And then the following one they slotted me into, I was again ill, but I was like, I just have to go for it because like they're not go I'm gonna miss my chance. And so
Yeah.
I remember just feeling so awful and then getting off the stage, be like, okay, just 3 minutes.
Drag every bit of energy out of yourself. Like, I can do this.
You can die later. It's okay. Um, but yeah, it was so much fun and it was also, how it impacted my career. Like it was the beginning of my relationship with the Cocoa Butter Club.
Yeah.
And since then they've provided me with such a platform
Mm.
that I wouldn't have been able to access had I not done this,
Done that.
applied for that competition. Yeah.
Yeah. And you now teach at the Black Burlesque School, which is obviously run by the same person that runs Cocoa Butter Club.
Mm.
Um, how has that experience been as well?
Um, that has been really, it's like another challenge.
Mm-hmm.
For a while I kind of was pushing against it because little Lady Luscious had actually asked me to take over her teaching when she left for Newcastle.
Okay.
She was like, "Oh, if you're interested, like, I have their students that still want to continue, you can teach." And this was also still when I was like just major imposter syndrome. I was like, "Oh, how can I teach? Like, I don't know what I'm doing." Um, and so yeah, then the opportunity came up again, and it's been um it's been a rather like healing process actually.
Yeah.
Because as I said, like I was growing up dancing. I think the dance community and like that kind of industry can be really toxic. Like traditional classical dance can be really toxic. So I've had
Yeah.
so many experiences of feeling inadequate and, maybe the teacher's shouting or, just high stress, high pressure, and it very much being like you need to look a certain way. And you're not encouraged to add personality to your dance when you're
Yeah.
doing classical forms of dance.
Mm.
Um, and that's something I always struggled with. Um, especially like ballet. Oh my gosh. Ballet was so triggering. Um,
Why? I feel like everyone that used to be a ballet dancer says that at one point. They're like, oh, ballet.
well, I think like someone was I can't remember the name of this organization, but I think it's like Point Black or something, and
Mhm.
they're a black ballet school, and they've recently shared a story about what it's like to be perhaps the only black person or only black girl in your ballet class, and this is very much
Mm.
my
Okay.
experience, and and one like moment that really like just I just remember it so vividly is like when you're at the bar and they're telling you to like tuck your tailbone in to like adjust your pelvis and your
Yeah.
posture, and my teacher would always go like down the back like tuck it in, tuck it in, tuck it in, and I was like, that's just my butt.
Yeah.
That is just my tailbone is tucked in, the rest you're seeing is just my butt, like that's
Yeah.
just my body.
Yeah.
And like that was yeah that so yeah, in ballet, it always felt like it was just so restrictive, and you had to look a certain way to do it, and behave in a certain way, and it was fine, but like it never felt authentic. It never felt nurturing and a place to actually grow. It was just like it felt like the the main drive was to break you down and then rebuild you into like some kind of ballet robot. Uh, and so with teaching now, my ethos is like, feeling first. Like, how are you feeling in the class? How are you feeling in the movements? I really encourage students to kind of embody what they're trying to do. Like if you're doing a sexy routine, how does that feel like? And how do you translate sexy for yourself? Not what it looks like from a billboard that's telling you how it looks, but how does it show up for you? And so yeah, I focus on feeling now, and then we'll focus on the looks later.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I think that totally makes sense. And also, the Black Burlesque School is bringing out some fantastic performers. So clearly, you and the other teachers teaching is top class because it's working.
it's working. And
Yeah.
for me, I've just arrived on the scene. I did last year's last year 2025's cohort. And Sadie invited me on and asked me to do choreography. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like choreography is the hardest thing to teach. Um, but again, it's like it's that dance training that I had that had kind of platformed me in such a way that, oh, she's good at these things.
Yeah.
And so, the challenge of teaching choreography was to kind of teach something that was almost second nature to me that I hadn't really um digested or translated out loud outside
Yep.
of me just feeling my way through a piece of music. And so what teaching has taught me is to be like more intentional with with my movement.
Mm.
So if I'm doing something like I'll do like this kind of motif to this section of the music. Um, I'll put it together and I'll be like, okay, so if I'm teaching it, how do I need to say like, okay, you want to be moving in this fluid movement, like we're doing it because of this, and how does this feel? and why am I doing it?
Yeah,
So those are the kind of questions that were coming into mind when I'm putting things together. And I'm like, okay, so how am I going to teach it? So it just made me really, it's informed me. It's like, yeah, it's informed my practice as a performer myself and has improved my routine building construction. Yeah.
yeah, because you have to, as you said, you have to be like, well, why am I moving this way? Like, I naturally want to move that way, but why?
How do I articulate it so someone else can be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That I can do that too.
Yeah, but it also helps you understand the narrative that you're telling because if you're moving a certain way, you're obviously telling a certain story. And if you're breaking down why you're doing it, it's maybe giving more depth to what you're
Absolutely.
doing. Yeah,
Yeah. And then it inspires them to also reflect on their own storytelling for their
definitely. It's a skill that I've only probably in the last year and a half, specifically after I had a one-to-one with Poison Ivory, and she kind of broke it all. Like we were talking about a particular act, and the way she broke it down, I was like, oh, like no one had really broken it down that way for me before, and it sounds very similar to what you're talking about. Like, why are you doing this movement, and why, like, what's the story? So it's such an important skill that you're obviously being able to impart to your students, which is always good.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And I had a few of them come and say to me afterwards that like because I taught the very first class and so you know
Yes.
the course spans several months.
Mm.
And they were like, you're the kind of fundamentals I taught them had really helped them like build upon what they were learning later on in the course. So
Oh,
I was
that's
really
so
proud of
good.
that.
Yeah, that's something you should definitely be proud of.
Mm.
Um, so I obviously, as we talked about, you've done a lot. You've performed all over the place, you've taught, you've won awards, you danced with the Follies for a long time. Like, what are some of the sort of standout moments, like the big moments in your head for your career so far?
Hmm. Standout moments. I would say like the competition was obviously like it felt like a huge like launching pad.
Yep.
Had I not done that, my I don't know if I would have had a burlesque career at all. Just because like the mental breakthrough I had as well from that.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I would say the production I'm now in with the Cocoa Butter Club. Um, I think that is kind of challenging me more to kind of create pieces that are outside of my comfort zone. So I kind of have like a
Mm.
brief to respond to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even though, I didn't say I really resonated as a graphic designer, but I do love a brief. Like I
Yeah.
like some structure.
Yeah.
And so that's been a really wonderful challenge. And it's also been great to dance with others on stage, like group
Yeah.
numbers. And um, Demi Noir and Cleopatra have lent their choreography skills and have like taught some class, taught us some routines. And I also miss that practice of learning and
Mm.
then running it, rehearsing.
Yeah.
I love rehearsing. Like I think that definitely comes to back from, dancing whilst growing
Yeah.
up. Um, Another highlight would be the Stockholm Burlesque Festival.
Mm.
That was my first burlesque festival. Um,
Such a big one to be your first one as well. It's amazing.
it was huge, and yeah, it was so much fun. I was really nervous. I've never been to Stockholm, anyways.
Yeah.
Um, but it was a pleasure to perform with other performers like around the world, and just to be in a space that was just so inspiring and loving. I felt like everyone was cheering everyone on. Like there isn't a competition element to it. And so it was just like we're literally just celebrating each other.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
I've heard so many wonderful things about the Stockholm Burlesque Festival. It's definitely on a bucket list for me
Oh,
because
you must. Yeah.
everyone says it's amazing.
It really is. Um, yeah, and I'd say lastly, it was with the Cocoa Butter Club production, but we performed at Latitude Festival.
Oh,
And that the audience, I believe, was like 500 people. That's the most people I've ever performed
yeah.
for. So
Oh,
it was
yeah.
it was very exciting. It was like it was crazy. It was such a good time.
That's insane. I remember seeing that on like the socials, and I was like, that's insane, but
It's
amazing.
a huge amount of people.
Yeah. It's like, that's a lot of people. And on that, do you have any like any goals or any sort of dream venues or festivals that are still very much like on your bucket list? Like, what's the future look like for Donna Divine?
Oh, I I love I want to travel more. I want to travel
Mm.
and perform more. One place I where is it? Duane Park in New York.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
what an iconic stage. However, I heard that they don't pay the performers.
What?
Now, this could be false information, but I swear someone told me that they don't pay. You can get tipped, but there's no flat fee for
That would be
such a venue.
that would be wild.
I feel like that's what I've been told.
Well, we'll find out. Someone will tell us if we're wrong. It's fine.
They
I
certainly
know,
will.
I know that the fees in New York are quite low considering it's New York. I do know that. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually just like a really low fee.
My gosh. But it's still a beautiful venue. And so,
It's 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 an iconic stage.
mm.
So yeah, I can like yeah. You do it anyway, it's fine.
I want to do the Alps Burlesque Festival. I've never
It's
been to the
fantastic.
Alps, so it looks beautiful. And you've done that. You've done the festival, haven't
Did it
you?
last year and it's as we're recording, it's actually this weekend. It starts tomorrow, this year. But I did it last year and I loved it. It's a beautiful place. It's in Grenoble. The
Wow.
production's fantastic. The lineup is always stunning. Last year I was there when it was Foxy Lexi Brown. It was the headliner, and she did her act that she then went on and did at Beehoff, and I was just like jaw on the floor. Um, I recommend that festival to everyone. It's fantastic. So yeah, you need to do that one.
And I will actually be performing this weekend in Berlin.
Oh,
And one
nice.
venue I do want to do in Berlin is the Principal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love to perform there.
Yeah. It looks like a beautiful venue as well.
Mm.
So have you for the I'm guessing it's not there that you're performing this weekend, is it somewhere else?
No, this weekend it's the Bottoms Up brunch with
Oh, yeah.
Felicis. I always mix I
I know what you mean. Yeah. Oh, that'll be a good show as well. Is that the one that Media Noche's doing?
No, I think that's Sinner's Saloon. She might be
Is
doing.
that Sinner Saloon? I knew she was doing one of them over there. I
Mm.
just couldn't remember what one. Again, that's a sh both of those shows are always got amazing performers. So again, fantastic show to be doing.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm super excited. At the same time, I was so nervous. Well, I'm still nervous, but I remember Gina Sterling. I love her. I love her content. I love that she's so generous with all her tips and advice.
Hmm.
And on this one, she was talking about imposter syndrome, and I
Mm.
was like, this is right on time. She she mentioned something like when you're feeling nervous about like a new step, it's often growing pains. Like you're doing something new, and therefore you're gonna feel anxious about it because it's a new experience. It's the unknown.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's she's totally right actually. When if you're not doing something that scares you a little bit, you're maybe not growing anymore.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. I haven't I didn't say this to you in the kind of questions I've sent you, but it's come up a lot. Like you clearly seem to have imposter syndrome a lot. Like how do
Mm.
you sort of, and I think so many of us do, right? How do you manage that?
Mm. I think now I remind myself what I've done. I remind myself that um, you know, producers are booking me because I'm good and they believe in me, and so I should also believe in myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also because I think it's so easy to compare yourself. especially in this industry and especially like with social media and it being like a whole beast in itself.
Hmm.
Um, like that's the beauty of burlesque is how everyone is so different
Yeah.
and like that is celebrated. And so what you're doing, only you can do.
Yeah.
That person over there is fantastic about at what they're doing. No one
Hmm.
can do it like them. However, no one can do what I do like I do.
Yeah.
Like it's you just have to like bring some perspective back into it.
Hmm.
And like I think about this like with the imposter syndrome sometimes and then like with just nerves in general, like before performing. Um, I come from a like predominantly like medical family. And so I think that's like really informed my respect for medicine and like as a
Yeah.
healing practice. And so whenever anything is really like I feel so much pressure around something, I always think like, well, I'm not performing brain surgery today. I'm not there. There are little consequences to any errors that I may make on stage. Whereas if I
Hmm.
were doing, one of like my family's profession, yeah, like an error can be very costly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas, if something goes wrong on stage, only I know that it's wrong. And the only
Hmm.
consequence could be that I feel embarrassed, but I'm also in charge. I can also dictate whether I do feel embarrassment because the audience doesn't know.
Yeah.
Even if you fall on your face, you can style it out. It's really how you react to it that sets the tone.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see Jezebel, funny enough, talking about her earlier? She did a post recently where she fell on stage and just like styled it out. She was like,
And you wouldn't know. I think I
no,
saw the clip and like before I'd read her caption, and I think I noticed like a bit of a wiggle, but like that could have just been a little booty wiggle, and then like she just styled it out. Like
yeah,
you just as the audience, they don't know.
yeah, no. You're too busy going, yay!
Mm, absolutely. You know what? I've just thought about one performance I did not too long ago, and everything went wrong in it.
Oh no.
This one I definitely trauma blocked this one out. But it was so funny. It was 100 Watt with Lena.
Yes.
And and there was so I have this panel skirt and they're quite weighty. So like when I throw them, I have to really be conscious of where I'm throwing them. So ideally
Hmm.
it's away from me, but sometimes they can just fall and land next to me.
Yeah.
And so that happened in one instance. And I was turning back to go upstage and like my heel slipped on my panel. And I like a cartoon, my arms literally went like woo, like as though I was slipping on a banana. And I even let out a little scream. And then I looked to my right and I could see Lena in the wings, like, oh my God. That happened. And then another panel, like that was removing 2 panels. I had a 4 panel skirt.
Okay.
Another panel fell off by accident. Don't know how. And then the last one, like because like it was I take the full skirt off like at the towards the end.
Yeah.
And the skirt got caught when I was taking it off. Eventually came off, but then I went to throw it above my head and it got stuck in my wig.
Oh
And I was
no.
just like, what is happening? I even I even looked at Lena in her mouth, what is happening? It was, oh my gosh. And that was the first half. And I was like, Lena, please don't make me go back out there again. Humiliating myself.
Yeah, I feel like I would fall out with that skirt if I were you. I'd be like, I'm not fucking wearing you for a while.
The betrayal.
The betrayal.
It's like, I mean, it hasn't happened since, but I think I remember I think I'd done a show like the week before and a stage kitten had like reattached my skirt panels for me. And I was like, oh,
Hmm.
that's so nice, thank you. I went to and I don't want to blame them, but I was just like, maybe it's because I didn't personally do it myself. That the panels were just I even though there isn't necessarily like this one needs to go here, like they don't each have their own like particular spot.
Place. Yeah.
But now I make sure I do it myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say if someone tries, you'd be like, no, I'm ripping these off.
Riffing and saging them.
Yes. But then going back to what we said earlier, like if anything that happens, you just be like, yeah, but I'm the Beyonce of burlesque, so it's fucking fine.
Exactly. I'm what Esme Pump said. Come on.
Yeah, just that's fine. Just have that in your brain at all times.
You asked about inspiration and then also like the confidence and imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Someone that has really helped me through that and to like actually see myself properly is Sadie Sinner, the founder of the Coke Butter Club and
Yep.
the Black Burlesque School. Um, she has like a talent for seeing people and
Mm,
acknowledging them and like encourage and inspiring them to see themselves, like
mm,
truly see themselves. Because I'll come to her and I'll be like, oh, I'm feeling a bit wobbly today or whatever. And like, she'll just speak complete life back into me and remind me that, I'm here for a reason and I'm talented and I should take up space.
yes.
Mm.
Sadie seems like such a wonderful person. I've never had an opportunity to meet them, but I obviously follow them online, as we all do. And Sadie just seems to be, yeah, such a source of positivity and action as well, which I think is something that we're sometimes lacking in the burlesque world. So I love that you have that as a
Yeah, no, yeah, she's wonderful. Like definitely a mentor as well.
Mm,
And yeah, you're so right how there can be inaction within the industry.
mm,
Yeah. And you have to be brave to take that action. I think she's really good
mm.
at demonstrating bravery and sticking to your own moral compass and like your
100%. The things that she's done, like Gogo Bar Club, Black Burlesque School, the Black Burlesque Festival, which has obviously been
Mm.
huge as well. Like there's been so much. So I can imagine that having Sadie as a mentor has been fantastic as well.
Yeah. I think also the Cocoa Butter Club gave me an experience I didn't know that I needed.
Mm,
Of being in a lineup of all black, all of color
yeah,
performers. Because that's one thing. Sometimes, especially when I have performed maybe outside of London, I never know how I'm going to be received.
yep.
It's always in the back of my mind, especially most
Mm,
of the time I'm the only one.
yeah.
And so, there's just a bit of anxiety. But when there are more black performers in particular, I just instantly feel a lot safer,
Yeah.
like behind the scenes and on stage.
Yeah. No,
Mm.
I can see why that would be the case, especially some of the places that you must perform in sort of parts of England that are not great. Not that I'm saying Scotland's anywhere, but yeah.
I'm yet to perform in Scotland though. I want to come and perform up there.
Oh, you need to come perform in Glasgow. It's
Yes,
so
the Glasgow Burlesque Festival. They're
yeah.
casting at the moment, so I think
Yes, they are casting at the moment because Roxy does shows quite regularly, so we're casting at the moment. So definitely I'm not part of it. Definitely contact her. Um, but yeah, like as well as the writing rooms, Paul Puppet, he's always like if you're traveling and you want to come up, like message Paul because he's always booking people as well. So yeah, I can give you email afterwards if you want. Yeah.
but I will say
Um,
the show I did that it was with Dawn. Dawn Vintage Retro.
I don't think
That's
I
what
know them.
she mainly does like the south of England, so like Southampton,
Okay.
Chichester, those kind of places.
Hmm.
And I went to there was a day performance, Dixie and Bowie's.
Okay.
I'm terrible with names, sorry. But it's over 60s and at 12 p.m.
Oh wow. Okay.
And Chichester is, I think, the whitest town I know, at least,
Mhm.
down my way. And so I was like, and she even told me, can you d jig tweak some of your routines because there's going to be audience members with pacemakers and stuff like that.
Don't give them a heart attack, Donna.
Literally. And so I went, I was like, oh gosh, we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens here. Naturally, a tassel came off. I think the same one came off on both routines. But they were really lovely. They were singing my praise at the end of it. Like it was a really fun gig.
Oh, that's nice. That's what you want, though. You want a gig where you feel like it ends up being a lovely experience in the end.
Mm,
Do you
absolutely.
do you tend to, I'm asking more questions after saying I was gonna wrap up, but like do you tend to have more positive experiences than negative experiences as a black woman on stage these days, or
I think I've had mainly positive. Yeah. I haven't had any problems actually.
good? As
Yeah.
it should be. But I just thought I would ask because obviously you kind of mentioned it there. But no, good. I'm glad. As I said,
I
as
did
it
have
should be.
what's interesting is like they have had no issues with audiences. Backstage, I won't name names, but the host forgot my name like twice. Whilst like and even the audience had picked up on it. It was like, what's happening? And I was the only black performer, and it very much felt like a microaggression.
Yeah,
And but the producer dealt with it swiftly, like really
good.
well. Mm.
That's what you want.
Yeah. And that was, I think that's the only difficult experience I've had, I would say.
Well, I hope that there's no more. And no, yeah, no more.
Mm.
Um, where can our lovely listeners and watchers follow you and see all the fun things that you are doing?
Yes, they can follow me on Instagram, Donna underscore Divine underscore. I'm also on Facebook. In fact, I am now teaching, creating hen do experiences.
Oh,
So
nice.
that information is on my Instagram and on my Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I love a Hindu experience. I'm not getting married anytime soon, but if I was, I would definitely message you. It's been an absolute delight to like get to chat to you and get to know you properly, and hopefully at some point we will share a stage together in the
Absolutely. Thank you
future.
so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, and a heartbeat would have you again. Thank you so much, my lovely. Have a lovely evening.
You too.
Right.